Howdy, y'all. Jackson here with Ictric Studios, and it is a solo episode today because both the other co-hosts had stuff come up. So hopefully we can get through this quick then. So let's just get started. So I don't have anybody else's picks, so that's going to be a little scuffed. So fun leagues. There was only the one game in this league. The Las Vegas Kings beat the league team, the Cali Gold, 30-0 in a blowout. Let's see if they don't have any stats here, which is a shame, but it does count for their league standings. So Cali Gold is 1-3 now. So the Sharks are in first. And then in the other one, the Peach State Cats beat the Carolina Predators of the AAL2 37-6. This game doesn't count for the Predators season because it was a preseason game for them, but it does count for the Cats, though it doesn't really matter because there's only two teams in this league. So, you can see SRS rankings. So, I segregated the leagues that don't have crossovers, so the Greater Toronto is now in its own little SRS system. But all the other leagues have a crossover, and so does the AIF and NAL. So Kyle and Nate both went 1-1, and I went 0-2. Oh well. So with that, I'm going to pick against the Cali Gold, against the Bandits, because the Bandits did go 2-2 in their winter season. I don't know how many players carry over necessarily, but they were a 500 team. I'll go with Savages in that, and then I will go Sharks here, and then I will go Peach State. So AIF, they were off this week. We just have a game this week of West Michigan at Coralville, so it'll be interesting to see if that game is streamed or not, because Cedar Rapids did not stream their last game. And we'll see if Coralville can keep it closer than they did last week. Alright, in Major League Rugby, the Old Glory beat New England 28-14. Houston beat Anthem in a bit of a slugfest. That score went back and forth quite a few times if you were paying attention to it. But Houston came away in the 80th minute, I believe, with a penalty kick to win 46-45. Rugby LA got the win over NOLA. It's a bit surprising. San Diego Legion beat the piss out of the Sharks. That was my game, so I will pull up the highlights here. Or at least a little bit of the highlights that I had. So, San Diego would get a breakaway score in the 22nd minute, and then in the 31st minute, they do a bit of good ball movement there to get their second score of the day. And then here in the 35th minute, they just a big kick return there to go up 21-0, and they would end up winning 31-12. So, and then you had the Utah Warriors continue their winning wave against Seattle. Only a 3-point win though, so that was a bit closer, probably, than people would have been expecting. I guess Seattle was a good team last year. They just have not started off well in this year. So I went 4-1. Kyle went 1-4, and Nate went 2-3. So yeah, Chicago is leading your East. San Diego is leading your West because they are undefeated. The West is kind of the top-heavy league right now through SRS, so. Alright. I can pull up stats. So, Christian Liliafano is your points leader through the season so far. Joey Mano is your touchdown, or tries. Ali Devato is your carries. Damian Hoyland is your meters made. Tackles. Bradley Wilkins is your tackle leader. On to the National Arena League. Oh no, I gotta make my picks. San Diego, because they're still undefeated, so I'll pick them. Chicago is hot, so I'll go them. Anthem, Seattle. I guess if Anthem's going to get a win, they would be primed to get one now, but they're still Anthem, so I'm going to pick against them. I'll go Utah. Oops. I'll go Utah here, and then I will go Old Glory against LA. Alright, on to the NAL now. National Arena League, there was only 2 games this week. Columbus, with a bit of a shocker, won 25-0 against Carolina. Obviously, that was my game, so let me pull up the highlights for that, or at least a little bit of highlights. Carolina Columbus. Starting off just a couple minutes into the game, Marcus Brooks would find an open guy. Toward the end of the first quarter, they barely stretch across the goal line there to go up 12-0. PAT is still a bit of a problem for them. Second quarter, late in the second, they would go up 18-0, and they would end up winning 25-0. So that was I would consider a shocker for the score-wise. I picked Columbus because they've been hot. Obviously, they haven't lost in 2 years. I would have thought Carolina would put up a better game though. And then Shreveport beat Wheeling. It seems Wheeling's main quarterback was out with a concussion, so they didn't really have much of an offense, which is why they lost to Shreveport, who also don't have much of an offense, to be fair. But yeah, 20-13, that was a bit of a shocker. Wheeling is now 0-3. If you pay attention to the NAL at all, you'd have seen that a preseason poll, coaches poll, had Wheeling ranked 1 going into the preseason. What is going on? I will close that later. Okay. So, I guess we have just a running it back, but in return, so I'll go with Lions again. I'll go Beef, because Idaho sucks, especially on the road. I'll go Sioux City. Because they're home. Alright, let's pull up the stat leaders. I'll close out of that because I don't really need that open. Alright, we can go to National Arena League. Well, I guess standings. I didn't look at the standings. Columbus is leading the standings. 2-0. Omaha is also 2-0, but 110 points forced. 0 is your tiebreaker there. Beaumont is also undefeated at 1-0. Sioux City, Carolina, Colorado, Shreveport are all 1-1. Idaho's 0-1. Wheeling is 0-3. And Corpus Christi plays in a different league. So Grant Russell is the Wheeling quarterback that is hurt. Was hurt and not played this last game. So that's why their passing was down. But 2 games through, he's your leading passer. Well, I guess they're technically 3 games through, but he only played 2. Vincent Espinoza, Carl Robinson are your top 3. Rushing, Aaron Aiken, Andrew Prosack, and Jeff Mack. Receiving, Isaiah Robinson, Damon Powell, Tyvis Taylor. And tackles are all Wheeling, because they're all played 3 games. I probably should have showed game stats for mine. So Marcus Brooks, he did throw 2 picks, but he did show that he can play in this league. 3 touchdowns, 66% completion percentage. continue not really have much of a rushing game. The receivers proving they can play. Jerron Farston, Fremel Goodwin, Macy Ewing, Brian Robinson, all having good games. You see they don't have a good kicker. Split time for Carolina. Neither one was playing well. That's why that happened. Not much of rushing, not much of receiving. Yeah, that is why they went. Scored 0 points. All right, on to Arena Football 1. 2 games this week. Albany smoked Southwest Kansas 78-20. That was my game. So let's show up the highlights here, or just a little bit. After a deuce to start the game, Southwest Kansas would actually get the first touchdown on a quarterback scramble, but then Castronova would show that he's probably the best quarterback in indoor football. Here's 3 quick scores. Also, this one's over the wall, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so they roll 78-20. If Nate was here, this game, Oregon versus Washington, would have been your Falcons gonna Falcon, because Oregon blew a 22-0 halftime lead. So, womp womp, sad emoji. Alright, Corpus Christi leads their Central Division at 1-0. Albany leads the East at 1-0. And Billings leads the West at 1-0. Note that Albany's SRS is in the 50s because their one win was against a 2-0 team that had won pretty handily. So it really skewers the SRS rankings. I'm gonna go Corpus Christi because that's the rematch, which I accidentally had in showing it last week because I'm stupid and couldn't read the schedule. I'll go Albany, and then that game is not happening. So let me quickly make sure. Yeah, those are the only 2 games. Okay, they just took that game away. Okay. Good. Alright. Stats for my game. Let me pull up. Jalen Morton, he's the one who had the scramble touchdown. He had 3 interceptions, so that's going to do you in. No passing touchdowns yet, but 88 rushing yards and his 2 rushing touchdowns. A lot of rushing yards for indoor arena football. Not much there. Castronova, 7 touchdowns, only 7 incompletions. 220 yards, yeah. Easy peasy. Backup even got to come in and throw a touchdown. Yeah. Dwayne Brown, 4 touchdowns. Darian Townsend, 2 touchdowns. Yeah. Broken. Albany, I think, is clearly the top dog. Alright. So Dalton Coley is leading passer because he's played the most games. Jalen Morton is your leading rusher because he played a lot more games. Deshaun Williams, 168 receiving yards, so he's having a good season so far. Prayers for Daquan Bailey Brown because he injured himself in this last game, and I believe he's out for the rest of the season. Brian Hughes is leading your tackles. Ezekiel Rose, 2 sacks, and Michael Lawson with 3 picks. Alright. On to picking. We did the picking. The Australian Football League. I really don't have any idea what's going on in this league. Everything's kind of going whack for the most part, honestly. Hawthorne beat Carleton by 20. Collingwood eked by Western in kind of a good game. That was my game. Obviously, they don't have as many highlights as they could, but Western would get the first points of the game. They'd go on a bit of a streak before Collingwood would start to catch up. But here in the 17 minutes left in the third, Collingwood would finally tie it up. And they would actually take the lead just barely, and it'd be a close game for the rest of the game. This is when they would go up 2 scores right at the end, and that's what they would hold on to win by. So there is that. Then Adelaide just putting up so much points against Eston, 151-100. For Adelaide, smoked Richmond, 140-68. St Kilda beat Geelong. Sag. Brisbane beat West Coast. North Melbourne beat Melbourne. Pretty outstanding, pretty remarkably. We all had faith in them, so. And then Sydney finally turned it around and got a win. So your top 8: Hawthorn, Adelaide, GWS, Collingwood, Brisbane, Gold Coast, Geelong, and North Melbourne. I'm gonna go. It's Port Adelaide versus Eston. Yeah, we're gonna go Port Adelaide. Western. They're Western. They really like Western. I guess I'll go Western. I'll go Gold Coast. I'm probably gonna lose this week, but I went Richmond Tigers, and that will that'll be my losing money with Jackson pick as well. I'll show you the spread on that. So that's probably gonna be a massive L. But this league has been kind of wacky so far to start, so I figured why not. It's just the top teams, isn't it? Just about. I like GWS more, so we'll go GWS then. We'll go Adelaide, and then we will go at the bottom. I guess I'll go Fremantle. And then we have the IFL, IFL. Only 3 games this last week. They didn't have stats up yet on the website, which was a little disappointing. You know, everybody else can get their stats up, and you're supposed to be the Premier League, and you can't get your stats up on time. But Jacksonville shocked, winning 46-25. Quad Cities escaped against Green Bay. I guess they didn't escape because they were not favored. They were the underdogs. But I guess they do kind of escape by the end of the game. So Green Bay would start the scoring here with a good play by Maylor. DuPont Neal would then quarterback sneak it in to tie things up here early in the second. Late in the second, Quad Cities would take the lead, a small lead, and then that small lead would stay all the way through. Here in the fourth, they would go up 2 scores or go up 10. But 10-point lead isn't safe in arena football, so here is 6 by Maylor. Then they would quarterback sneak it in for the 2-point conversion, and it would come down overtime. It would come down to this deuce attempt, but it would sail wide left. So Quad Cities came away 39-37. So good news for me and my pick. And then Tulsa beat San Antonio 28-20. Indoor football. We will refresh this and see if they have stats in yet. They do not. Okay, so yeah, standings. Jacksonville Quad Cities lead the division because they have the division wins, and then Tulsa is in third, and then your two teams that haven't played, and then Green Bay, Massachusetts because they lost, and then everybody that hasn't played in San Antonio at the bottom for being 0-1. And now we can go to the if my co-host were here, we would play the video, but nobody's watching, so I'm just gonna skip over this bit. If you want to know the UFL previews, you can go watch the video on its own. So it's up to 3 likes, so I'll take that. Yeah, but my losing money with Jackson's pick is definitely losing money because I put my pick down on Richmond over St. Kilda at plus 310. They're supposed to get smoked, but I was checking the Massey ratings. I know it's only a couple weeks in, and the ratings weren't super different, so I didn't think it was gonna be 30 points, and I figured I might as well just put the money, try to triple the money, might as well. And last bit, we're gonna see if the LFA schedule is up yet. Let's see. It is not. Womp womp. Sad face. One day it will be. We'll get it. So anyway, that's it. Quick episode because nobody else is here. Nobody to banter off of. So I will see everybody next week, probably on Wednesday. See you then.